go. Hi everybody, Emma and Dan here doing a quick chat about puppy toilet training. Sorry we were a couple of minutes late because we had to make a coffee and poor old Paula had to run to the shop because we hadn't got any milk. So she's behind the camera but she's quite cross with me because she's hot and bothered. She's also going to be shouting out any comments or questions that anybody has. So if you do want to type in, then just let us know. Or give us some love or some thumbs up to let us know that you're there. So, we've got Pug and Banger in the office as well, helping, but that's normal. Okay, so this is Dan Callahan.
Hi guys.
He's Milton Keynes dog trainer extraordinaire and a bit of a personality, I have to say. So maybe as an introduction, you can tell all our girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, puppies, what you do with your dog. So what sort of dog trainer are you and what's your sort of specialities?
So I specialise in problem behaviours. Typically if we get a rescue dog, something like that, that comes with behaviours, I will be called out to that. Anything from peeing in the house to aggression, to anything like that, basically I can deal with. All range of ages and dogs like that. I tend to be the go-to guy in the area for bull breeds at the moment. I've got a lot of experience with bull breeds, so your Staffies, your bull mastiffs, anything like that. I tend to be the go-to guy. That's what I have, that's what I've always owned as well myself. But I get called out for a lot of puppy stuff as well.
In fact, that's how we met, because
exactly, yeah,
I have a problem dog.
Yeah.
If you follow the page or are in our Facebook group, you'll know about Banger. Banger is an autistic puglet.
He is.
She is.
She is. I keep saying he. I'm going to get a slap every time that. I can feel it coming.
And I first met you. She's so reactive, isn't she?
Yes.
She's just everything. I mean, you've met her before, but you've been here for about an hour and she then just shut up.
Yeah, bless her. She's
every
accepted.
time you move, she starts again. She gets reactivated. So we know you well.
Yep.
And actually, I think it was a great help coming to you. But she is just bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to her, when I first came in, she's definitely much better than she was.
Yes.
Yeah, she's definitely much better than she was. But you can see that she's not quite settled, is she? She's not quite there.
No,
bless her.
but she's not quite right. So.
No, not quite right in the head. I didn't want to say that. No, yeah, not quite right in the head. There's something. She's broken. Bless her.
She's a special dog. Okay, so it's really lovely to have you here.
No, I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
And you are in our Facebook group as well. So if you don't know, we have a Top Dog toilet training group that is not just for puppy owners, but for people who are having problems toilet training their dogs. And it was really important to me to start that Facebook group because having met so many dog owners, and we see ourselves as a dog business, not grass business, but if you can't toilet train your puppy or your rescue dog or your older dog, it causes so much distress and so much frustration.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the whole point of Top Dog Turf's existence is to help dog owners and puppy owners enjoy their lives with their dogs, not just with artificial grass, but all the weird dog toilets I invent, ways for people who are in apartments or flats to have dogs that can go to the loo, and all the different cleaning products. So if there are accidents, you're not embarrassed and you're not stressed out because the odour of pet wee in your home or your garden. So that's kind of what Top Dog's all about. So when we're selling our dog loos, it became really obvious that so many of our customers, especially for the dog toilet areas, were new or first dog owners. So they would be asking me lots of questions about how do I train my puppy to do this, So it was a natural progression to start the group, and the group's growing really quickly. We've got some really great people, and it's so lovely that we've got some real superstars in the group actually, and first puppy owners, Richard. Hello. Richard's sort of, actually on the Facebook groups you get stars now, you get rising stars.
Yeah, you get that little,
and Richard is actually our first, I don't know if you know that, rising star. So he's got a new puppy called Tolly, who's gone a bit viral actually for some of our marketing.
Oh, okay.
And he's Nova Scotian Tollings.
Tolling Retriever, Dr. Tolling Retriever.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
very
absolutely.
clever dog. Very, very clever.
So Richard and his family's first dog, but he's had real success with an indoor artificial grass mat and the outdoor dog toilet that Richard installed before Tolly arrived. And so he's now really helping everybody else in the group as well. So that's really lovely. But when you first join the group, you're asked to answer 3 questions. And that's not me being nosy. Sorry, I talk about nosy, my nose is running. It's because we really want to know what the problems are so that you can address them with us. And I would say 95% of the problems are dogs or puppies that you put outside to go to the loo and they come straight back in and wee.
Inside,
or you take them for a walk and then they wait till they get home and they come back in for a wee. So that's what we're going to address today, is that why does my dog spend ages outside and then come in and pee on the floor? So I think we're going to first of all look at thinking like a puppy. I think that's something that we talked about before we came on air. On air, that sounds very fancy. So can you just talk to everybody about how they almost need to get inside their puppy's heads and stop thinking like a frustrated owner?
Yeah, absolutely.
While I drink my coffee.
Yeah, sure, okay, so when we're talking about puppies, we need to understand that they are, exactly as I've just said, they're puppies. So they're babies. We can humanise it to a certain degree that when your baby goes to the toilet in their nappy, you change their nappy and then they've done it again within half an hour. You don't get the ump about it, you just deal with it. So a dog is exactly the same sort of thing. So you need to be aware of that. It is a baby. Now, when we're talking about where the dog wants to go to the toilet and where they don't want to go to the toilet, we also need to understand that when you let your dog out into the garden or you take them out for a walk, it's a big wide world out there and it's all new. So they're still learning a lot. Sense of smell, eyesight, hearing, everything like that is affected in the dog, and they're like a sponge. So they're soaking everything up. So when they go outside, you've got 2 things that could possibly be going on. One, they're actually scared. Okay, so they're too busy worrying about what's going on in the outside world to actually go to the toilet themselves. And when they're inside, they're comfortable. The second thing that could be going on is because there's so much going on outside, they're busy. They're busy sniffing, they're busy looking, they're busy listening. Again, not focusing on actually going to the toilet, which is what you have taken them outside for. They don't know you've taken them outside for that. Don't forget that. They don't speak English. You can't just go, we're going out for a walk so you can go for a wee. So we need to also take that into account. So when they come back, they relax and then they go, oh, need a wee. And then they go. Okay. And then the third thing that could be possibly going on when they're going inside is simply attention-seeking behaviours, which I'm going to cover in a bit on that one as well.
Yeah, so I think that there's some really valid points actually that I've just picked up there when you were talking, is they don't know why they're outside.
100%,
I think that's really interesting. So your puppy doesn't understand that it's going outside and it's supposed to pee. So why would it?
No, that's it.
That would make complete sense.
Exactly, and actually in a dog, whether it's a puppy or an actual dog itself, they're not going outside to go for a pee. In a dog's world, they're going outside to actually explore. That's what they do. So they're going out to smell things. So they're not going out to wee. It's just the wee or the poo is a secondary thing that they need to do when they're out there. That's all that is. So they don't know that's why you've taken them out.
Because if we can just help you guys with your frustrations in any shape or form, because, you know, puppy training, it will be a short period of time. You know, it's not, you're not going to have to spend the rest of your life. Oh, that's very unprofessional. I thought I'd put that on silent. Oh dear, we'll have to stand up and let Dan carry on and sort that out. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, you know, it is really a short period of time in the general scheme of things. And puppies are so much easier and quicker than children. I think, you know. Oh,
absolutely. It seems that it feels like it's a long time.
It feels really painful.
Yeah, it does. And that's part of what you were touching on the subject about being frustrated. Because you're so frustrated, you know, 2 days can seem like a week. But generally speaking, puppies will pick it up really quickly. You've just got to get it right and find the right motivation to get the dog to go where you want them to and not where you don't want them to.
Okay, so if we think from that, so part of the reason so far is that they might be scared when they're outside. They're too busy, just like kids when you're trying to potty train them. they're running about.
Yeah, what's that? Well, give me that crayon.
And then they forget they need a wee, and then they wee themselves because they've been too busy to need a wee. So very similar to puppies. They don't know what you want them to do. Outside is just an adventure. It's not where you want them to wee.
Especially as a puppy, everything's new.
You said something I found really interesting when we discussed it earlier about attention. Could you just talk everybody through that?
Yeah, so this is kind of focusing on the problem that Emma had said about before. People have been asking, the dog goes outside, they don't go for a wee, they come back in and they wee automatically in the house. And a lot of that can be attention-seeking behaviours. So now attention can be anything. It can be anything from you just going, oh, here we go again. It can be picking the dog up to move them. It could be going, oh, it's all right, don't worry, moving them along because you're understanding. It could be shouting, it could be crying, it could be anything. But the dog is getting a reaction from that behaviour. Now, if the dog is getting a reaction that it wants, so let's say, for example, every time your dog pees, you pick it up, okay? If that's what the dog wants you to do, then the dog is learning that peeing gets them what they want, in which case they're going to continue to do that behaviour, okay? And they're never going to get out of it. So that's where the attention side of things can be coming from. So it is very important that, in fact, don't give them the attention that they want. And again, I'm going to go through that in a little bit more detail in a bit, but we need to make sure that the dog is getting the right attention that the dog wants and the appropriate rewards when they're outside, when they do something you want them to do, like pee, for instance, and they don't get anything inside. So that's nothing. So there's not even a punishment, nothing. Just completely ignore them, remove them, clean up, bring them back in. But again, I'm going to go through that in a little bit more detail in a bit. So definitely attention-seeking behaviours can be attributed to that.
Okay, that's really interesting. What are your professional thoughts on things like puppy pads and how to actually create, if people are needing an indoor space, indoor toilet space, what would your professional opinion be on how to create that? And do you think that they should be confined? You know, you shouldn't, a small puppy that is peeing everywhere shouldn't be allowed to just dash all over the house.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of them things. It's not one thing fits every dog. So you could, for instance, you could have a puppy and have it the free run of your house, and it'll only pick one area to pee in, and that's what it does. Or you'll have a dog that just pees everywhere, and you'll need to get a crate and then introduce that. It really depends on the dog. When it comes to puppy pads and things like that, puppy pads themselves, so I'm talking about the ones that you buy in Pets at Home or something like that, I try to use them as an absolute last resort. However, the grass kind of things here that I'm actually quite impressed with the Top Dog Turf is you can very easily change from the dog peeing inside the house to outside of the house by using that turf because it's grass. So you can teach the dog to pee on grass, and it's just easier to clean, obviously, than a puppy pad is. But there's no one size fits all. So one dog will learn like that with puppy pads. So one of my old dogs, Pepsi, we actually use puppy pads for Pepsi, and I would say it's probably about a week, and she was peeing outside and never went inside the house again. Yeah. And that was at about 9.5 weeks old.
Okay.
Rome took a little bit longer, so he was a few more weeks. And they're the only two dogs I've ever had as puppies. But then when I've got the rescues, so my first dog ever, Ty, he was an adult, and he was basically locked in the garden. So he'd learned to go when he wanted to go, he just went. So he took a long time because he was older. But eventually we got there in the end. But yeah, definitely with the puppies, it is... Pepsi was puppy pads. Ty was rewarding when you're going outside, as was Rome. Ty was removed inside the house when he went inside without any reactions from myself, and Rome was simply told no if he peed in the house. So I've got 3 different dogs, and they were trained 3 different ways, because that's what I saw fit with them 3 particular dogs.
Right, okay, brilliant. So do you think that's a good segue now into explaining about this ignoring?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should cover that, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, touching back on that, so we've got a few people on the groups that I've seen myself personally. Emma's actually messaged me a few times trying to get me to help some people. That's why I'm kind of doing this video. So your dog goes outside, so whether they're just let into the garden for half an hour, whatever you've let them out for, or you've taken them for a quick walk, they haven't weed outside. The moment they get back inside, they wee. So let's take everything into account what I've just said. So the dog might be scared, they might be too busy, and they might be doing it for attention. Let's say they're doing all of them. Let's focus on the peeing inside bit. Let's eradicate that. So forget about trying to teach your dog to wee outside. Let's teach them that when they go inside, they don't get anything for it. My advice to people like you would be to try this and see how it goes. And as I said, anyone can message me directly after this video anyway. So you walk in, your dog pees on the floor. The first thing, don't get frustrated. Do not react at all. So not, oh, here we go again. Not even there. Just simply just go, accept that's happened. It's a puppy, okay? So it's a little baby dog, that's all it is. You're going to walk off. Your dog will probably follow you because that's what puppies tend to do. When you walk off, go into another room and then just simply shut the door behind you or a baby gate so your dog can't see you. You're going to come back into the room where they've made their mess, clean it up, use something that's non-bleach based, of course, like obviously Top Dog Turf sell a lot of decent products for that.
Pond Busters.
Yeah, Pond Busters, things like that. Yeah, great products that are not non-bleach based. Clean it up, remove everything that you've cleaned up, let the dog back in as if nothing happened. And what's happening there is your puppy is not associating them going to the toilet inside the house with you at all. So they're not getting any attention. You're not coming towards the dog, you're not picking the dog up, you're not touching them, you're not doing anything, and that has been removed. Then you need to focus on the dog actually going outside. So when your dog does go outside, loads of praise, treats, rewards, playtime, touching, picking up, whatever your dog likes. That way your dog is going to know that going outside is the thing that's going to get them their attention and not actually going inside. And I think on some of the starter packs that that Emma supplies through her company for your puppies, yeah, you've got a little PDF there which comes into the pack. And one of the things it says on one of the pages, I think it's the last, not the last one.
Page 2.
Page 2, number 4, which is teach a wee word. Love it. It's great. So all my dogs are taught. I use be quick. That's what I say. One of my dogs, Rome, he's the perfect example of this. So when I go outside, I have to simply say be quick. And you can see him straight away, bang, nose down, walks around, starts trying to go to a wee. Even if he doesn't need a wee, he's trying to because that's what I've taught him to do. And I use that, what I've just told you guys, is just made it as fun as possible when he does go outside. But specifically, ignore that behaviour inside for now. It doesn't actually take as long as you think it's going to. Make sure you're not doing anything like old school, like rubbing dogs' noses in it and things like that, because that just kind of teaches your dog that you've got a fetish with their urine and stuff like that. It's a bit weird. So don't do anything like that, and also that will actually encourage your dog to actually do it behind your sofa instead, so you can't see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than not doing it at all. So yeah, don't do that, but definitely ignore it. Just remove them. That's really important. Make sure the dog's not seeing you clean it up. Okay, once it's cleaned up and everything's removed, then allow your dog out, and then you've just completely eliminated any association with that, with you and the dog.
Okay, and I think going back to the going outside thing, I know in the PDF as well, just I think it's, where are we, number maybe 1 even, you've got to stay outside with the dog. It's not any good just opening the back door, shoving it out there, shutting the back door and then wondering why it's squeaking at the door and it doesn't want to be out. So it's not any fun at this time of year, but it's just tough luck.
No, that's it.
You've got to get your blankie on and you've got to get your slippers on. Paula actually bought me a blankie, didn't you, for Christmas? And I've got my special dog wee blankie put around my shoulders, and off we go. And you have to be outside with them because you have to do your wee word in the middle of the wee, so that they associate that, and then be outside to reward them.
Absolutely.
But also be outside to reassure them. And I did a live video a couple of weeks ago where I was showing people my body language when I'm outside. So when they're just sniffing around, I'm not interrupting them. I'm just being really calm. I'm kind of ignoring them and almost sniffing around with them. So I've walked to the back of the garden because I'm wanting them to move away from the house and away from the back door. And I'm looking as if I want to have a wee. I think I did confess I am a horsey person and I have been known to wee in bushes myself. At which point the dogs are all really confused, like, what's going on here? They're always wanting to reward me with treats. Oh, yeah, never mind. But I'm not hurrying them in any shape or form. I've got myself warm. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, Christ's sake, hurry up. I just want to go in and finish my tea. But if a dog's showing me it's wanting to go out, and that's maybe another video, is looking for signs or teaching them to ask to go out.
Yeah, that could be a good one.
That would be a really good thing to do. Is whatever you're doing, tough luck. You just got to go out, put your blankie on, put your Crocs in my case on, and sort of wander out towards the back of the garden, staying calm, keeping your body language quiet, and then when they start to wee, do the wee words until they've learnt it. Obviously, once they've learnt it. My dogs know now that if I say we're going to grandma's, I can't say it loud because they'll be activated, they go to the toilet really quickly, like straight away, because they know they're getting in the car and they go and visit him. So wherever I want to go, if I want them to go to the loo quick, I tell them they're going to grandma's, and they'll poo within seconds.
Done.
And then
in the car.
and they're in the car and they want to go. But that's it. You've got to go outside.
Yeah.
And you've got to stay outside, and you've got to be completely calm and completely chill.
Absolutely, and they will go. They will go eventually. And timing can be important to kind of speed up the process as well, because first thing in the morning when you first get up, they're going to need a wee. They're going to need to go. So so go outside and then just stay outside.
And pick them up. So if they're in a crate or on the bed or wherever they are with you, don't allow them to get their own way to the garden. Pick them up, put your slippers on, and go straight out into the garden with your outdoor blanket, so your neighbours aren't alarmed by your pyjamas.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they're there, and it's inevitable.
Exactly, and you've eliminated the process of them actually walking, because once they start walking, obviously they can pee, and then you've missed the opportunity to actually teach them what you want. Yeah, so first thing in the morning, after their breakfast, after lunch, dinner, if you're feeding them 3 times a day, after they've played, anything like that, they're going to need to go for a wee afterwards, just like children. So yeah, pick them up outside, stay out there, be patient. When they go, loads of praise, yeah, good boy, take them back in again. And then just repeat that every single time. And if your dog does go in the house, remember, nothing at all. No reactions at all, and don't give them any touching, nothing.
Yeah, I think that's that's really what I've taken from this chat. Actually, is that's been really interesting, because I know you're saying that you've got one dog who's a bit like Banger, really, who's a bit peculiar.
He's a bit special, bless him.
And he really responds to negative feedback. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for you to what breed is he?
So I at a guess, because he's a rescue. I think he's an American Bulldog cross Staffy.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got his own page, Joey the Bully.
Yeah.
No, Joey is all a load of bully, should I say? And you can see what he's up to on there. But majority
he's
of it.
Quite wicked, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he's always up to something. Yeah, always up to something. That one. He does. He keeps me on my toes. We'll put it that way.
But he's really deliberately looking for a response from you, and he's learnt that negative, to be naughty and to do things that you don't want him to do, is the best way to get you to react. Yeah. And do you think that's his past life?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, we think he was abused. I mean, he was a bit hand shy and things like that. He still is to a certain degree. But yeah, absolutely. So if I leave the room for a prolonged period and I haven't allowed him to come with me, you can pretty much guarantee he's going to do something. So he'll grab something off the table, or he'll pull the Christmas tree down. That's his favourite thing at the moment. And he knows that I'm going to come flying back in, because obviously I don't know what he's got, so I need to make sure he hasn't got something that's going to hurt him. But in doing that, I'm doing exactly what I'm telling you guys not to do, giving him the attention that... maybe I need to go and see a dog trainer or something like that. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing that, but obviously it's for his own safety. So most of the time I allow him to come out with me, because that eliminates that. But certainly, yeah, if he wants my attention, he will do something like that to gain it, rather than grabbing a toy and bringing it to me. He would rather get that quick attention I've run in towards it, because it excites him. He likes it. Yeah,
okay. So actually one more thing then about not quite negative attention, but puppies who may be wanting to go and hide and go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of shutting them in where you are and keeping them with you, or keeping them on maybe more of an indoor type of lead, so that you are watching for the signs and that you can keep an eye on them and they're not going and hiding? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Because again, some of the dogs will get stressed out when they go to the toilet inside their own kind of area. They don't particularly want to lay in it, most of them, and unless you've got a Labrador, of course. But most of the time the dogs don't want to do it in their area, so they can get a bit stressed out, so they will look for places that are away from their area, so behind the sofa and things like that, stuff like that. So yes, absolutely, you need to watch them. If they do go out of sight, it's probably for a reason.
Yes.
So if you've got a dog that is constantly doing that, then an on lead indoor training exercise would be very helpful with that. Only for a temporary amount of period. Yeah. It's like we said, it is a pain, but they are puppies and they're learning. So we just need to have a little bit of patience with it. Don't get frustrated. It's just a learning curve.
Okay.
Got a question from Carmel. She's saying, what if you catch them mid-flow or mid-poo? Can you stop them and put them outside?
You can do. The problem is that you're then you're giving the dog attention. Personally, I would just kind of take it as a learning curve. You missed the cues. It's happened. Just ignore it to start off with, and then just repeat what I was saying earlier. Just allow the dog to go into another room, clean it up, and then move them outside. You can sometimes, but again, it depends on the dog. Sometimes you can display displeasure to the dog, but again, it depends on the dog. So my dog Joey, if I displayed my displeasure, it's a reaction that he wanted. I'm not sure of your own personal dog, but I would at the moment try just to go, I missed the cue, shrug it off.
How old is Carmel's
Doesn't say.
puppy?
No.
Carmel, can you just answer how old your puppy is? It might not be a puppy.
Nothing yet. Carry on.
Oh, okay.
We'll get it.
We'll carry on. So where can people get hold of you? You're in our Top Dog toilet training
Yeah, so
group.
I'm in
We'll
the
put
toilet
that
training
link
group. Yeah,
in.
put the link into, you can just put it into my profile. At the moment, my page is called Barker's Trail, so you can, that's going to be changed to MK Dog Behaviour and Training, sorry, but I'm keeping the page, I'm simply just changing the name over. So if you want to search today, it'll be Barker's Trail, but I think by tomorrow it'll change, or the next day, depending on how quick Facebook does it. But it's still the same page, or just me direct, Dan Callahan. I think at the moment my profile picture is me with my girlfriend and stepdaughter. So
Okay, but we'll put all those links
Yeah.
in so people can get
yeah,
hold
and
of
I'll
you.
every now and again I'll say hi on the page as well, so people can just ask me
Okay.
directly. Yeah.
But I mean, in the group, do by all means post. We love puppy photos,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Post your questions in, and I can tag Dan into
Yeah.
it.
12 weeks.
12 weeks.
Oh, okay. So yes, it's still in the learning curve. So yeah, at the moment I would ignore that. Yeah. So mid flow, just go. Damn it, I missed it. I missed the cues. Just ignore it. Allow your dog to go into another room, come back in, clean it up, and then allow your dog back in again. For now. But if you find that this isn't working, then just contact me directly, and I'll help you personally.
So maybe as a last thing, because we don't want to keep people on for too long,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
and I'm sure you've got things to do. Can we have a real talk about how you spot the cues? Because I know Paula's here behind the camera, and Paula had problems with her dog Willow, and Paula thinks now, having got another puppy who's actually Willow's now copied, a puppy that was house trained, that actually was a little rescue dog that I fostered for a while, so my tummy's rumbling, sorry. Sorry, Facebook. Paula thinks that Willow was probably giving her really subtle clues that she's missed, and that actually now she's able to watch Willow's behaviour with another dog.
Yeah.
It was Paula thought that Willow was asking for sweets when actually she was saying,
Possibly,
can I go for a
yeah,
wee?
leave
So
it
she
for a wee,
kept sort of weeing in the house
Yeah.
because people weren't listening.
Yeah.
So with Carmel,
Yeah.
with Carmel, and then you're saying she's missed the cues.
Yep.
How do our new puppy owners start looking for those cues?
Yeah, absolutely. I like the way you said about sometimes we're not listening. It's a really good point there. Sometimes we aren't listening, but to start off with, when you've got your brand new puppy, especially if you've just taken them at 8 weeks old or that around that sort of time when you normally get the new puppy, they're not going to give you specific cues because obviously they don't know them. So they're not going to ask you to go out. They will just go because that's what they need to do. So it's down to us to kind of learn the behaviours your dog will go. So simply, if your dog is asleep and they've been asleep for about half hour, 40 minutes, and all of a sudden they get up and walk, they're probably going to go to the toilet.
Yeah, that's a cue.
And it's a cue. It's as simple as that. My dog's walking. So most people go, oh, it's just got up and walked away because it's woke up. It's probably going to need a wee. Allow the dog to go out. And the more times you repeat that process, the dog will start to walk towards the area that you've taken them to go to the toilet. So then you'll start to learn the difference between your dog just getting up to move because they're uncomfortable, or I'm getting up to walk towards the door. You need a wee. Out you
Okay.
go. So it can be something as subtle as just simply getting up and walking.
So just to clarify then, because we've talked about ignoring and not picking up. So let's say Carmel's puppy has woken up, it's walking.
Yep.
She's maybe got the grass mats or pee pads inside, because let's say outside is going to be way too difficult because the puppy's little.
Yep.
Would you then pick said puppy up and take it straight to its
Yes.
teeth.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what I would
Yeah,
do.
yeah, absolutely. I would do that because it is a very fine line between the dog's not going to go for a wee to the dog is going
Yes,
to wee.
to-
It's very fine.
it's quick.
As we all know, puppies tend to hold it until the last minute, whereas adult dogs will hold it and it won't be an issue. So puppies will go, I need a wee, I'm going, and it's
Yeah,
and
just like kids.
just like
isn't
kids.
it?
I need a wee, I'm going, and you don't have that.
I've got Michaela on. She's got a 9-month-old Yorkie. Says she wees on the pads really well. Has been amazing, but she's just come into her first season and has started weeing anywhere in the house.
Okay.
Asking, is that normal?
Yes, that absolutely. Yeah, when a dog comes into season, especially their first season, obviously hormones are all over the place. Their body is reacting completely different ways. That is quite a common thing. Again, ignore it. The dog is probably just as stressed out about it as you are. That should go once the season stops. It should go. If it doesn't, then contact your vet.
And
So-
then we have Julia
Mm-hmm.
also asking. Her dog uses a newspaper, gets on great, but then he walks through it. She's asking, when does he start cocking his leg, basically?
Okay, so not all dogs cock their legs, and it's not always male dogs that cock their legs when they do. So
I know Pug does. My lady.
yeah,
Pug,
yeah,
yeah.
female dogs will cock their legs as well. So some dogs don't cock their legs. So that's the only answer I've got for you. So he'll either will or he won't, and it's as simple as that, really.
So to me, the problem is that the dog's walking through the
Walking
wee
through it. So yeah, so I would recommend then changing the newspaper because the newspaper's not very good.
yeah, it's not absorbent.
It's not very absorbent, so I would definitely change. Maybe get a patch of this sort of grass or something like that,
mats,
or
yeah.
even worst case scenario, a puppy pad where it's a bit more absorbent. That way, they won't walk it through your house. Yeah, so I wouldn't use paper personally. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the only reason we ever talk about paper is because it's a completely different feel and smell.
Yeah.
Because to my mind, puppy pads, the way they're manufactured, are similar smell and feel to rugs
Yeah.
and carpets.
Yeah, exactly.
So I suppose newspaper, it doesn't smell or feel like
No.
anything apart from a newspaper
Yeah, exactly.
that's on the
Yeah,
floor.
absolutely, yeah.
And certainly when I've trained some of my puppies with newspaper, you have to go to the shops and buy them.
Yeah,
Because you
loads
just don't
of
have
them.
them
Yeah,
anymore,
yeah,
do
yeah.
you?
No,
Hardly
that's it.
ever.
Yeah.
We also
Yeah.
have Moira saying she's got 2 10-week-old puppies. And they keep interrupting each other when they're going to the toilet, so should she take them out separately?
Yes. Yeah, I would take them out separately, or if one's going off for a wee, have the other one on lead and then swap them. That way they can both see each other doing the same thing. One's getting rewarded, the other one can see that, and they can copy the behaviour as well.
I don't know what you feel, but to my mind, having 2 puppies at once has got to be the hardest
Oh yeah,
thing in the
yeah.
world.
As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, good luck.
Oh, I know. I
Yeah.
know when Pug had her children and we sort of kept Banger, and then my daughter had another 2 puppies. I mean, Banger is just brilliant with the house training instantly, but Amelia's really struggled with her puppies because I'm her mum and she obviously won't listen to me because that's what kids are like. But it's so hard. It's like having twin
Yeah.
kids.
Oh,
isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, a puppy in general, especially, I tend to get it with my clients. So as their dogs get older, they kind of start to go, I quite fancy having a puppy again,
Yeah.
you know, and starting again with a new dog, you know, before my dog's too old. And then they get the puppy, and then the next week they're like, I completely forgot what puppies are like. It's nice,
Yeah.
fun, isn't it? It's just like having
Yeah.
a baby, you know. So having 2 of them, yeah. Good
But,
luck.
but because they distract each other,
Yeah,
they haven't
yeah.
got an older dog to follow for
No.
the correct behaviour.
Yeah, the only thing that can teach a dog to be a dog is a dog.
Is a dog.
Mhm.
Absolutely, and that's another video we need to do about
Yep.
what happens if you get a puppy too young for some reason, you know, that can't be helped, and that it's not learnt to be a dog.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That's can be a real problem. I know we've got people in the group who've got that. So what we're saying with those is try to separate them.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
And
Again,
do-
it's only temporary. It's only
Yeah.
temporary, just to teach them the basics. You pee outside, you don't pee inside, and then you can put them together after that.
And they do distract each other, aren't they? They're just like kids playing.
Yep.
So one of them might think it needs a wee, and then the other one's decided to bite its ears
Yeah,
and
yeah.
roll about with it, and then the whole thing's kind of forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to
Yep.
be a bit tougher for you.
Yeah, a little bit, but again, it is temporary. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is only temporary.
Absolutely. Okay, so I hope that's helped. That's probably only just touched on a few questions. If you want to do a deeper dive, speak to Dan, jump in the group. It might be nice to jump in the group as well as to email you or contact you, because other people in the group are reading. Virtually everybody has similar problems.
Yeah.
So to go into the group and express your frustrations or your problems so that other people can then read it, and quite often when you read down, people are saying, oh my god, my dog's exactly the same. and then it reassures other people that
Absolutely.
it will get better and that you're not alone.
Yeah, sure.
And then any specific problems, we can do video and address that as well as, you know, can maybe do some shorter videos.
Yeah. Just a quick tip video sort of thing, yeah. I've also got a group that's going to be set up in the new year as well for people that have got puppies. They can join it as part of like a training. So if you're not in my area and I can't physically see you, we have a group and you can join that. It'll be a closed personal group, private group and things like that, so you can sign up to it. And we can all join in and as a group work together through our problems and stuff like that. So
so I think that'd be really great. So that would be all aspects of puppy training.
Yep, absolutely.
Not just
not just anything.
I'm just obsessed with dog wee, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Any unwanted behaviours, anything like that.
Yeah, you have more of a repertoire, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm the dog wee woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so any more questions on Paula?
All good.
Just all positive. Thank you for the advice.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
Excellent.
Not a problem at all.
Thank you very much. So this will then be shared into the toilet training group. I'll put all the various links and things underneath. And then, hopefully we'll be making this a regular occurrence.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.